Hey everyone, so the other day I was just mindlessly scrolling through my Instagram feed, scrolling through posts from people from my middle school and high school who I don't even talk to anymore, but for some reason I still follow them. But as I was going through my feed, I came across a post that was advertising a TikTok event in Branson, Missouri. And this surprised me for a variety of reasons. The first is I didn't think Missouri actually existed, so that was news to me. So my initial thought was that they were advertising an event that's going to just happen next year so they can get a head start on marketing it. Because literally everything is canceled this year. VidCon, which I was supposed to go to, is not happening. Lollapalooza, canceled. Coachella, canceled. Pretty much all the events that were happening around me, like concerts that I was planning to go to this year, not happening. The NBA plans on reopening, but having no fans. I think baseball is doing the same thing, assuming they can get their stuff together. But when I looked closely at this post, which was advertising this TikTok event, I saw that it was scheduled for June 20th. And when I saw that, I was like, wait, can they even do that? Like, is that even allowed? Because I know where I am, specifically in Maryland, something like that would never happen because right now we're in phase 2 and, we're still taking things really cautiously here. So I decided to do some research. I know, shocking, me actually putting effort into a video. Don't get used to it, by the way. But I decided to do some research, and apparently Missouri is fully reopened as of June 16th. So these people thought it was a great idea to do an event just a couple days after the state fully reopened. According to the governor's press release, Missouri has been doing a lot in order to prevent the spread of COVID. Quote, weekly testing in Missouri has increased more than 220% from 16,000 test encounters the week of April 20th to over 53,000 encounters the week of May 25th. On top of that, Missouri's hospitalizations fell by 43%. So the governor decided, you know what, we're going to reopen the place. But here's something that the governor said that I think should really be emphasized. Quote, we must remember that COVID-19 is not gone. It is extremely important for everyone to continue social distancing, be proactive, avoid large congested crowds, and if you can't social distance, take extra precautions to protect yourself and those around you. So now that businesses are reopening, cases are starting to go up as well. On June 20th, 389 new cases were reported in Missouri. Now, it should be noted that state officials said that the reason for this was because an increase in testing, so that's why the numbers are going up. So I just wanted to put that out there, but still the virus does very much exist. It's not like it just went away. Now, the event in Branson, Missouri is located in Taney County, and this county has actually had not that many cases. Up until a week ago, they only had 15 cases, but that since doubled to 30 cases. Now, compared to the rest of Missouri and other surrounding counties, that's not a lot. It's very little, actually. But here's the thing that people are missing about these events. People come to these events from all over the state. I would imagine a bunch of fans from Missouri are coming to this place. Now, keep in mind, there are other parts of Missouri that are still highly infected and have a lot of cases. Also, the talent, the TikTokers who are selling the tickets, who are, performing at these shows and doing the meet and greets, they're coming from across the country. But don't worry, I decided to go to the event's website and see what safety precautions they were taking. And they conveniently had a COVID-19 information section which pretty much addressed all the concerns that people would have. So the first part of their plan is to check people's temperature at the door. In early February, the World Health Organization said that temperature screening alone at exit or entry is not an effective way to stop international spread. And also, people's symptoms don't show up until 2 to 14 days after they were initially infected. Also, a study done in New York City, which I think examined over 5,000 patients who had the coronavirus, they came to the conclusion that only 1/3 of these people infected had a symptom of fever. So there's pretty good data out there that shows that you can be pre-symptomatic but still have it and, risk spreading it to other people. So just taking temperatures at the door is not enough. But don't worry, of course our friends at Creators Live have some other safety precautions as well. So they encourage their guests to wear masks and to socially distance. They encourage it though. They don't actually enforce it. I understand the show must go on mentality. I really do. But if you feel like your show is so important to have during a pandemic, you should at least try to take the proper safety precautions. Just try. So I sent them an email asking them why they weren't enforcing social distancing and wearing a mask. And this is how they replied. Hello, we can't force anything. Smiley face. I like how they used an emoji in their email. Very professional, very cool. Missouri governor is opening up Missouri fully on Tuesday. Tuesday. It's not required and we can't force it. So there's a few things that kind of bother me about this statement. The first is that they're bringing up the Missouri governor reopening the place. Fine, he did say that, but also in his statement, he literally said that people should still be aware of COVID-19 and social distance and take safety precautions. That's literally what he said. Also, what do you mean you can't enforce it? If you are holding a private event where people have to pay to get in, you can do whatever you want. Think about grocery stores. You know how grocery stores and Walmart, you have to wear a mask in order to get in? That's the same thing here. There's nothing stopping you from holding an event saying, okay, the only way you can come to our event is if you wear a mask. And also, I don't see what's stopping you from promoting social distancing as well. Like, why can't you just put like stickers on the floor or whatever or something like that? Also on their website, they say, we will follow building capacity guidelines set forth by the venue, which also takes into account COVID-19 capacity guidelines. Our online ticket sales system will automatically indicate the tickets are sold out after we reach capacity. So they're not selling out the entire auditorium. So fair enough. So the event finally rolls around, and it happened yesterday at the time I'm recording this video. And were people wearing masks and social distancing? Of course not. Why would they? It wasn't enforced. You know, they put all this stuff on the website to give you the illusion that they're actually trying to make things safe, but they're not actually doing it. So I DM'd a fan who went to the event and I said, look, I'm a YouTuber, I'm doing a video about this. Were people wearing masks, and did they take your temperature at the door? The fan did reply saying that they did take their temperature at the door, but that they only saw 5 people actually wearing a mask. And keep in mind, this is like a meet and greet. There's a considerable amount of people there. I also DM'd another fan who told me this. Yes, they took our temperature at the door. They didn't make us wear masks, so basically no one wore masks, but they did have somewhat of social distancing, but not really. So whatever that means. And from all the videos and photos I've seen, people aren't really practicing the whole social distancing thing. You see videos of creators touching their fans' hands when they're on stage, and then you also see pictures of people going to these meet and greets, and that's a great way to spread it, because when you have a meet and greet, the whole point of the meet and greet is to meet and greet that creator. So obviously you're gonna get close to them so you can get in the picture and, you know, stuff like that. And that's why I personally think they didn't require masks, is because it's a meet and greet. Like, you want to get a photo with your favorite creator. Who wants a photo where your favorite creator is wearing a mask? At that point, it could be anyone underneath that mask because it covers up a majority of their face. And the thing that bothers me is that the entire time leading up to this event, the event constantly said, we encourage you wear a mask, bring a mask, do this, practice social distancing, and then you get there and it's just like, it's a disaster. I've also seen photos of creators like kissing their fans on the cheek and doing stuff like that, which during a pandemic probably isn't the smartest idea in the world. Just saying. I just think this stuff is really irresponsible no matter how you spin it. And I just don't see why they just didn't push back the event. I really don't. I don't know if their thought process was, we need to have this event now or we're going to lose a lot of money. I don't know what their financial state is, so I'm not going to try to speculate that. But I do find it odd that literally all these other social media events like VidCon, the Boys of Summer Tour, they were all pushed back, but this one wasn't. I just found that a bit odd. And I don't want people to get mad at the creators who participated in this event. So full transparency here, I know a few of the people who are on that tour. I wouldn't consider any of these people friends, but I've had encounters with these people and they've all been lovely. The people who are on that event who I have met personally, I have no ill will against them and I have nothing to say negative about them because my experience has always been positive, 100%. I really do think they were kind of put in a crappy position here because this event was announced in January before the whole pandemic thing. So these creators were promoting this event not knowing that this whole COVID thing was going to happen. So they're selling tickets, promoting the event, their fans are buying the tickets, and then the whole coronavirus thing happened. And then you hear they're still doing the event despite the coronavirus concern. So honestly, I think they didn't really want to let their fans down. And also on top of that, I'm sure they were paid to do this as well. I don't know how much they were getting paid, but I'm sure it was enough for them to be like, okay, I should probably do this event. And I know for a fact someone is going to bring up the George Floyd protests and the Black Lives Matter protests and try to compare it to this. And here's what I'll say on that. I do think there is a difference between the two. But here's the difference between the protests and this TikTok event. The protests were held outside. The protests, nearly everyone was wearing a mask. I attended a protest and I can tell you what I saw firsthand. What I saw firsthand was nearly everyone wearing masks. There were only a few people who weren't wearing masks, and people were literally handing those people masks. There were people literally coming around during the protest giving hand sanitizer to people. And on top of that, during the actual march, people were doing a pretty good job of, separating themselves and distancing themselves from other people. Was it socially distant at all times? No. That's what I feel like the difference between the protest and this event were. The event, it was held in, a congested area. They didn't take safety precautions. Sure, they took your temperature at the door, but they didn't enforce social distancing. They didn't enforce the wearing of a mask. Everyone was all buddy-buddy with each other, touching everyone. That's what I feel like the difference between those two are. So if you want to make the argument that those two are the same thing, that's fine. Go right ahead. I understand both. There is a risk factor there. And I understand the virus doesn't care about the Black Lives Matter movement or stuff like that. Like, the virus is going to infect whoever it wants to infect. And also you can make the argument that one thing is way more important than the other, and I'll let you decide which one is which there. And spoiler alert, it's not the TikTok event. That's not really that important. And I know now that people mention that, people are going to want me to mention the whole Trump thing, and I'm not really going to talk about that. My goal on this channel is not to get political. If you really wanted to know my political hot takes, you could just follow me on Twitter. I occasionally tweet stuff there. But what I will say is that I know things are starting to reopen again. People want to go back to normal. I feel like we still have to take proper safety precautions. Like, if you feel the need to go out, if you want to do something like that, just please play it safe. Don't act like this virus is over, because it's still a thing. I want to go back to normal just as much as the next guy, but we really need to take this virus seriously. Like, it didn't go away. That's what's crazy about this, is people just act like it doesn't exist anymore because they don't want it to exist. And people also think wearing a mask is a sign of weakness, which I don't really see how you could see that. And I understand some people want to say, oh, well, masks don't do anything or whatever. But from what I've read and what I've heard, masks are effective in stopping the spread. Because wearing a mask isn't necessarily going to help you, but it could help the people around you. I just don't understand why people just don't want to wear masks. Like, I don't get it. It's really not that inconvenient. I understand if you're a baby or you have a medical condition and you can't wear one. I totally get that. But if you're someone like me and, you're healthy or whatever, I don't see why you can't wear a mask. I really don't. It's really not the end of the world. I promise you'll be okay. Like, seriously. So that was a lot of stuff that I said. I don't know how well this video is going to perform because it's a little different than my usual stuff. It kind of went back to my old commentary roots or whatever. But I thought this video was important, and I just kind of wanted to share my thoughts on everything. So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like on it, and also leave your comments down below. What do you think about places that are reopening? What do you think about taking proper safety precautions? What do you think about all that? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. And if you have not already, make sure to subscribe to the channel to help me hit 5,000 subscribers. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next time.
Eric Moran feels the golden child, we going up. How many subscribers, but enough, never enough. We can show you how to stunt, climb the ladder so my vision to the heaven up above. Let me show you how to back when, I'm talking way back when. Flip the script and take the hate with a grain of sand.